um losing a mother in life is very hard, especially if you don't have an understanding of what mothers do. You know what I mean? Like, I was very naughty towards my mom and towards just my mom in general, I because she was very feisty towards me, and she was just a bitter person. So I was very naughty towards her. But the only wish that I the only regret I have is I wish I had never said some of the things I said, or I wish I was more nice to my mom, or I wish I spent more time with her, so she could know that I love her, and so she could know that I'm actually a good girl, that I'm actually a nice person, and that I'm actually that I can love her, and I can listen to what she has to say. Okay. I just wish I had more time with my mom. That's just my only wish. Okay. That's one of my biggest wish. I just wish my mom knew how much she meant to me, because when she died I was too young to even express how to express what she meant to me. Okay. um but so after my mom died, my grandmother, so my mom's mom, listen to this, my mom's mom and my great aunt, with my great aunt in Zambia is known as your grandmother. Okay, your great aunt in Zambia, you call them as your grandmother. Okay, so my mom's mom came to the village, and so did my great aunt, and my great aunt in Zambia is also known as your grandmother. Okay. So they came to the village after my mom had died, and like I think it was like a year later they came, and they basically came to tell my dad that they wanted to take me and my older brother to uh to the city where they lived, and they just thought we would have a better life, and we would just be exposed to a different culture and just different views, and that just have a better future in general. Okay. And so my dad really loved me and my brother, and so it was really hard for him to let go of the two of us. And I just remember seeing him like crying so hard, because he literally thought all of his kids were taken away from him. That's what his thought process was. All of his kids were taken away from him. And so my dad, before we left, promised us, saying he would be there for us, he would provide for us, he would support us in school, he would come visit us. Like, my dad said all the sweet stuff that any girl would want to hear. And I was like, oh wow, I trust my dad. Like, I can go with these strangers, it's fine. Because these two people that came, I only saw them once. I think so. Maybe there were other times that I saw them, but I don't really remember. But I saw them once, and then the next time they came, we had to go. I had to go with them and live with them. Okay. So I remember my dad saying yes, but him crying so hard because he never wanted to let us go. And I just remember being like, I don't really know where I'm going, but I'm with my brother. My brother, like, him and I were this close. We were this close. Like, I literally fought with him. I followed him wherever he went, and I just remember, okay, it's gonna be okay because I have my brother on my side. And so him and I went with my grandmother, both my grandmothers. Okay, if that's still confusing, it's fine. My great aunt and my grandmother, we went with them, and I remember just seeing some lights, seeing power and everything. I was like, what is going on? Like, I remember being scared of even light, being scared of just being scared of so many things that I had never seen in my life, and thinking these people were taking me somewhere that was, I don't know. And I just remember being scared of even being in a bus, because I'd never ridden a bus in my life. So I was just so scared. But having my brother there was very comforting. So off we went with them, and my brother and I went to my great aunt's house, and with my grandmother, we went there. And the next day, my grandmother had to take my brother with her to live in a different province. Basically, province in Zambia is equivalent to a state. So my grandmother took my brother to a different state or province, and I stayed with my great aunt or grandmother in a different province or state. or city or whatever you want to call it. It was just, you know, Copperbelt is a province, but like in a different, yeah. And so I remember being very, very sad to say goodbye to my brother, because I was like, I never lived my life without him. Like, we literally did everything together. We could have even been twins. Like, that's how close we were. I never did anything without him. We were all together. He was there for me, I was there for him. We fought, we did what, it was just, yeah, I just loved him. Okay. And he was very smart, so yeah, I was just like, he's gonna help me so much, he's a genius, he can help me. But I remember him leaving, and a day after, I think it was like 2 days later, I went to this school, and I just remember seeing white people. I saw one white person, and she was like touching me, and I'm like, I was like, what is this? Are you, you know, are you I was like, this person does not look right. Like, this is not I don't see these kind of people that often. So I just remember being a little bit like a bit reserved and just out of my comfort zone, and this person is touching me, and I'm just like, eh. And to make it worse, I spoke a different language. Okay, I spoke a different language. And so my school, the city, the province slash states that I moved in, they spoke different languages. So they spoke Bemba and English, and I spoke only Lunda. So I had no clue of anything they were saying. I had no idea. They could say anything. They could say you're stupid, I would agree. Like, I had no idea. And I was like, what? And I remember going to school and I telling my grandma, why are you doing this? Why are you taking me here? It's like, this, it's so far from everything. Like, how am I gonna make my way home? But the school was like an opening to the so many things that God has done in my life. Okay, so my great aunt, or my grandmother, took me to this school, and my grandpa took me to this school that gave me an education, gave me food, gave me it provided for me. Okay, that I'll never even complain, I'll never even say anything bad about it. And no, not in this video, I'm not gonna say anything bad. The school was just, it was God, God opened doors and opened ways for me. So I fast forward a couple years later, after being at that school, and I did different roles in school. I did so many leadership roles. I sang, I did what, I was just very out there. I played sports. I was just very extra and very shy. Actually, I was very shy growing up. But then years later, okay, I had been given an opportunity to come to the States, to come and sing on a children's choir, because I love singing. So then I came here. I was like, okay, this is a fun thing. It's only 2 months. I'm not gonna be away from home that much. So I decided to come to the States, and I came here on a tour. We sang for 2 months. We went back home, and I was like, wow, I visited America. What? It's great. Like, it was just, I came at the wrong time, because it was very cold, and it was cold, but it was nice. It was great. So I went home and went back home, and that was in 2012. And then in 2014, this lady gave me, the lady that I live with, my host aunt, wanted 2 girls that she could live with here in the States, that they could go to school, get an education, and blah 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 blah. And so God placed upon her heart me and another girl, Winnie, if you don't know Winnie, that we could come live here and get an education. Okay, and so we were given this opportunity to come 2014, and that's literally how I came to the States. Okay, I was just given an opportunity, and I opened up to it, and God has used that opportunity in so many ways, and I've met so many people. Okay, but as I was actually during that time of transition, during that time of coming to the States and blah blah blah, before, actually, when I came in 2012, I went back in 2013. That my one brother that I came with died. Okay, he died. He had some complications with his surgery, and that was he had passed away. And I just remember saying, I was talking to my grandmother. I'm like, I really need to go see my brother. Like, I've never, since we departed, it's been like years and years. And I was like, I never even went to see him. Like, and that during that year, I was really thinking, I'm like, I need to go see him. Like, I should talk to my grandmother, and then she can take me there. I can see him. And lo and behold, the same time I was thinking that, she brought the news and she was telling me, your brother's very sick. Your brother's very sick. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean he's very, like, she was like, your brother is very sick. Your brother's very sick. I was like, okay, I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. Okay. And when she told me that, I think it was like the next day, she was like, your brother died. And I was like, I was so confused. I was so confused. My brother died. Like, I literally was thinking of going to see this person. Like, since the time he left, I never seen him. And this was the year that I actually thought about him, and he died. And I was like, God, this curse is not a good curse. Like, I just don't like this. Like, I don't like how much I'm just losing people in my life. Like, I just don't like, I just became I became very sad and just a little bit bitter to how God has taken away my mom, and now my sister, and now my brother. And I was like, what then? Who am I gonna be left with? Like, is it just gonna be me, myself, and I in this world? Like, no. But that was before I came to the States for school. That's when my brother died. But now that I was here, and I was here for, I know, a couple years, minding my own business. Okay, my great grandmother, my grandmother, or great aunt, sorry, or also known as aka grandmother. The last time I saw her was when she said she escorted me to the airport to come here, and she literally, before I came here, she told me, never forget where you've come from. And of all the things that she said, these are the words that there's like two things that have stuck to me in: never forget where you've come from. Obviously, she was a very godly person, a godly woman, so all that stuff, I have it all packaged. Never forget where you've come from. And she always used to tell me Ecclesiastes 3, where it says there's time for everything. When I'll do something stupid, she would always tell me Ecclesiastes 3, there's always time for everything. Why always doing something stupid? But I literally remember her telling me to never forget where I came from. And I remember her just, she coming to the airport and saying her last goodbye. And I kid you not, that was my last time seeing her. That was my last time seeing my grandmother, period. Because a couple years later, I'm not sure if it was in 2016 or it hasn't been too long. I was in school, and I got a phone call from my aunt, and she told me that my grandmother died. And I was like, sorry. I was just very, at that point, I just was very, very, yeah, sorry. I was just very, very bitter at that point. It's like, I literally sat down in my room, and I was like, there's no way this lady has died. Like, there's no way this lady has died. Like, you have to be kidding me. She has. And I was in class in oh my gosh, sorry. I was in class enjoying myself, like having a fun time, enjoying my life, doing whatever. And the worst news ever. Like, of all the deaths that have happened in my life, that was like the one that hit me really, really hard. And for the longest time, so sorry. For the longest time, I did not believe that she died. I just thought, I was like, somebody must be playing a prank on me. Like, this cannot be real. Like, no way. She's not dead. Like, this is the person that literally brought me up. Like, she's taught me all the things I know. She has been there for me. And even through the hard times, she's just helped me in so many ways that I could have never even paid her back for, Of all the family members that I have in my family, she's the only one that has been there for me, okay, including her kids. She's the only one that has been there for me. And I was like, this, how can this woman die? Like, how can she die? I never even went back to Zambia to like even say thank you for how God used you to pave a way for me. Thank you for just loving me even when I put you in situations where you could have chosen not to love me. Like, I did not even have a chance to say anything I wanted to say. I remember my last conversation I had with her. She was saying like she was so sick. She's been sick, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh no, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. And a week later, I got the news saying she died, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I cried so hard. I'm not gonna lie, like, I literally, I just lost it. I was like, no, life is just, I just thought somebody just put a curse on me, and somebody just didn't want me to be happy, or like, I just didn't know. I just thought it was a punishment from God or something, okay? And then, fast forward to a year or two later, my grandmother saw her husband also died. Like, that's why this is why I refrain from sharing my story, because it's such, like, I haven't even given you guys details. Like, I've given you details, but I haven't given you, if I gave you details, this would be like 2 hours. Like, it's just very, there's just so many sad things that some people wouldn't want to associate themselves with, okay? So, the only people that I knew in my family, they both died. The people that, except for my 2 aunts and my uncles, that their kids, except for their kids. But the people in my whole family, and my family is huge. In my whole family, the 2 people that brought me up, they both died. The only house that I grew up in, the only house that I could go back to from America to Zambia, the only house that I felt comfortable with, the only place that I had friends at, I had lost the people that brought me up. I had lost the owners of the house. I had lost both of them. In, like, it was just like, I'm like, God, what have I done? What have I done to deserve this? But you know, when I look back to my mom's situations, I look at it this way, okay? I think if my mom had never died, not that I'm happy that she trust me, I would never even say that. If my mom had never died, my great grandmother, my great aunts, or my grandmother, and my mom's mom wouldn't have come to take me and my brother to live with them, and I wouldn't have gone to the school that got me to America, okay? That God used that school and that lady to bring me here. I wouldn't have gotten there. And I wouldn't have even met the people that I've met. I wouldn't have even met Kenna. I wouldn't have even met Maddie. I wouldn't have even met any of the people, any of you guys that have subscribed that are in the United States. I wouldn't have met Brittany. I wouldn't have met any of you guys. Sydney, Claire. I wouldn't have met you guys at all if those things didn't happen, okay? So when I think of my lifestyle, I associate it with so many people, so many Bible characters. But the one that comes to mind, especially during my mom's death, is Joseph's story, okay? Because when I look at his story, I think of how his brothers betrayed him and they sold him, and he literally thought it was hopeless. That's kind of how I felt. Like, my mom died and I was like, I don't know anybody. Like, my dad, is he really gonna take care of me now? And I just think God, as like, just like he used Joseph's story to bring out the best in him, that's how he did to me too. And in this whole story, you haven't really heard much about my dad. What happened to him? Is he dead? Is he not there? Honestly, for the longest time, I thought he was dead. I'm not even gonna lie. For the longest time, like, I probably didn't think he was dead, as in like actually dead, but he's just been dead to me, like dead as in like in my heart and everything, because he never, my dad, all those promises that he made of coming to visit me, coming to check up on me, all those promises, none of them, he fulfilled none. He fulfilled zero. I've never gotten a letter from him. I've never gotten any support from him. I've never even seen him since years, 15 something years, 20 something years. I don't even know how many years. I never even seen my dad. I never seen him since then. And I remember one day I called him, and I was very excited to talk to him, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm finally gonna talk to my dad. And guys, his voice just said it all. His voice, like, you know, when you haven't seen somebody, you're so excited, just like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you forever. I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, do you remember me? It's Linus. Like, you remember me? Like, it's Linus, Dad, it's Linus. And he was like, yeah, I know, you're Linus. Like, and I was like, do you hate me? Like, what? And I was so excited. So from then forwards, you know, I prayed about it. I've done it all. Like, I've forgiven him. I'm happy with myself. Like, but it's just like, I don't really have that friendship, the friendship that I had with him. It's all gone. Like, it's all gone. And part of me thinks he's bitter about the fact that he thinks all his kids have been taken away from him, which in a sense it kind of feels that way, but it's all for the best. Okay. But guys, right now, my family back home, if you ask me who are your family back home, I have my brother, my older brother, I have my 2 aunts, and I have my mom's sister and her family, and then I have a couple more family members. Those are my family members. And if you ask me how big my family is huge. But how many of those family members have reached out and asked me, how can we help you? None of them, except for my grandmother that died and my aunts that have been there for me since the time I came. But also, God has given me family here in the United States. Like, I've been blessed with a great family that loves me, that's there for me. Even in my failures, even in my downfall, even if I say the worst thing ever, they've been there for me. They've supported me in ways that I can never even pay them back. Like, you know, trust me, as sad as your story, as sad as your lifestyle has been, God always makes a way. God always paves a way. Like, trust me, he paves a way. Like, the things that I've gone through, the things that has happened in my life, all the deaths, and seeing where God has placed me at, it really truly tells you that God is there, God listens, and God's time is the best. And for those of you that like to say, well, my dad was a smoker, my dad was a drunkard, and I don't have any choice, it's in the blood. No, you do have a choice. You have a choice to pick the right thing. You have a choice to pave your own path. You have a choice to make a bright future for yourself. You have a choice to make the right decisions. Your dad's or your mom's past mistakes or your mom's lifestyle does not determine how your future looks like. You have a choice to make a better decisions for you and your future and your kids and whatever, you know. You have a choice. So don't you ever say, oh, my parents were like this, oh, my parents were like this, they brought me like up like this, so that's why I can't run away from this because my parents. No, do not blame your parents for things that you have you can decide not to go through the path. Don't blame your parents for it, because I love my dad. I love him, even though I've never seen him in forever. I love him and I've forgiven him. I have no hatred for him. And I could have chosen the path to develop this hatred toward people that looked like him, or toward men basically. I could have developed this hatred toward women. I could have been like, whoa, you guys are so bitter, or you guys just, this father thing is not for you, like, you just, no, it's not meant for any of you. I could have been so bitter over anybody. I could have been the worst person ever, but I made a personal decision with myself in my Jesus to follow through to do the right stuff. And with the help of my family, I am where I am because of them and because of God. God used them to bring me where I am. Okay? And so if you think your story is a shameful story and you're ashamed of it, my dear, life you only live once. I would rather you share your life story, no matter how bad it is, for us to hear so we can get encouraged by, than pretend to live this perfect life that we all know that you don't live like that. You don't live a perfect life. Okay? So that's just kind of this, you know. This is long. I really didn't want it to go this long, but it's long. And that's kind of just a summary of how it's kind of like a testimony in life, in just how my life has been since then. Okay? And being here in America has been really good. It has been fun, but it's been also a struggle. It's been a struggle in relations with connecting with people. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I always find it hard to connect with people here because, like, I don't know, it's just kind of hard. But God has brought people in my life that without God, those people, I would have never seen those people, you know. And the devil has tempted me in so many ways. He's tempted me in so many ways to just terminate me from this world, but God has always, found a way for me and made a way where there's no way. And if God can do it for me, he can do it for you too. Keep your head up and don't be afraid to share your stories, okay? Don't be afraid to share your stories, okay? Am I still sad if I think about what happened to my family and what I've gone through? Yes. But do I have hope with what God has done in my life that, he will do it again and he has got my life in his hands? Yes, I do. And he has your life in his hands too. So trust in him and never give up on who you are, and share your testimonies. Be an encouragement to people out there. Just encourage out there yours. I love listening to people's stories. So if you guys have testimonies and you want to send them to me and I can put them on my YouTube, feel free to do it. I will share your testimonies. Let's just share it all. Let's build other people out there. Your story is unique in its own way, and God put you through those things that you've gone through for a reason. And I am who I am today because of God and because of the people that he's put in my life, and I'm really grateful. So I hope you have been encouraged and you have been you've enjoyed this long video. But thank you so much for watching till the end, and stay tuned for more videos. Just comment down below what other videos you guys would like me to do. But I think it's a goodbye from me till next time. All right guys, bye.